Okay, pre-show is starting. Rob, you want me to send you the link?
No, I can share with Facebook.
Okay. Does Russ? Do you want me to share you the link?
No, I can share it on my Facebook. It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, it's up there now if you want to share it.
Awesome.
You two are the most savvy of all the people who do shows here, because most people say, "Okay, send me the link," and then I send it to them and say, "Now what do I do with it?"
Thoughts. That's what you say. Thoughts and prayers, an awful lot. And there you go.
Yeah.
See, we're fair and balanced. We don't demand anything.
Mm.
We just.
Okay, tell me when you're all shared up.
I'm good.
Okay.
Got a nice picture of Richard Wick on there.
Okay, now Rob, on that little button box in front of you, there's a number 5 with a circle around it.
Yep.
When you press that, look at the screen. It'll tell you when you're on the air, okay?
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, what's going on? Another edition of Fair Catch. I am Rob. I'm at the House of the Future. But Russ is at a mansion called Saberland.
Send me some air conditioning.
Well, I wish I could share some air conditioning, but the prayers, especially it was so hot outside. But we do got a cool sport to talk about. It's hockey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what do you think about the draft? I mean, what grade would you give it? Because I think it's more of like a B plus because, it was like they got players that they really wanted, like defensemen and a couple centers, but there wasn't really much that they did.
No, and I think after they picked Jackson Rudolph with the fourth overall pick, I didn't anticipate a big trade after that. They were going to make a trade. It was going to be with the 20th overall, unless they picked Jackson Rudolph for somebody else, and then they made then they make the trade afterwards. So I wasn't really disappointed in what they did. If the deal's not right, the deal's not right. Why make the deal? So Jackson Rudolph, fourth overall, everybody expected them to take Chase Reed. But the thing about it is, they take Jackson Rudolph 4, number 5 when Albert Smith's to the Rangers and Carson Carell's to Calgary. Chase Reed fell to the 7th overall. So it wasn't just the Sabres that passed on them. It was the Rangers and Calgary as well. And then Chase Reed ends up in Seattle. So, and from what I've read and what I've seen of Jackson Rudolph, I'm looking forward to seeing what this kid can offer in a year or two.
Yeah, I guess that he got compared to Rasmus Dahlin also, so that's not a bad person to get compared to.
Well, the one player I saw him get compared to, and he's been compared to a few players, but the one that I thought that was real interesting was Zach Werenski.
Yeah, we know that Yarmo worked well with Werenski. He brought him into the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, so I think he probably saw something in him that kind of reminded him of Werenski, and it's like, okay, he can work. And now when you look at the Sabres and their defense core, it's really young, to say the least. Because now you're looking at you have Dahlin, Power, and Samuelson. They're your top 3 regardless, And now you have Cole and Zellweger, who they just re-signed for 3 years at a little over $3 million per year. Then you got Connor Timmins and you got Louis Crevier.
Yeah.
So out of that mix, somebody's going to have to play next to Power, which at this point is probably going to be Zellweger, I would think, or maybe even Craig Crevier.
Yeah,
So,
I think it is Crevier because he got more of the style that Bo Byram had, which Chicago, I think, paid him way too much, if you ask me. But that's Chicago for you right now. I mean, they're young, but they need players, like talented players.
Well, 6 years at $75 million, 12.5 per year for Byram. That's a lot of money. There's no way the Sabres were going to go that high. Absolutely no way. So yeah, I mean, so they wind up getting Zellweger, and I think Zellweger is more of the Byram type, size wise and skill wise. I think Crevier is he's got the shot. I mean, it's 100-mile-an-hour slap shot. So it'll be interesting to see who gets to the number 4 spot. Because you're looking at Zellweger, you're looking at Crevier, Connor Timmins. I don't think I'd see him up there, but you never know.
Well, it's definitely going to be a battle, I think, with the 5 and 6 defensive pairing. Definitely. I mean, like even the players from Rochester, like Merca, and they're going to be involved in this, like 5 or 6, and obviously, like
it's probably a good year away, a year away, at least one more year away, before he can, before they probably insert him into the lineup somehow. But I think for right now, you're looking at Zellweger or Crevier filling the number 4 spot. Now, there's still time left in free agency where they could probably get somebody temporarily, but I don't think there's that much out there unless they go out and make another trade. But if you're going to make a trade at this point, it's going to be for a top 6 forward.
Yeah, it has. Or again, a goaltender like Connor Hellebuck, who again we're still waiting on it. I mean, still waiting. It's. I mean, there are different reports that it's happening soon, but in hockey, you got to wait with bated breath. Obviously.
Well, you know what? I mean, the fact that now if the rumored reports are true about them wanting Zach Benson included in the deal, no,
nope.
And no, and no.
With a capital N-O.
Yeah, exactly. So I think now the one deal that I had read had Jack Quinn involved, and then UPL, and then maybe a younger player. So that seems more reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Quinn had his struggles. I mean, maybe a change of scenery can help him, like Peterka needed, but I mean, I like Quinn, but sometimes a change of scenery would help him.
Yeah, but I'm very weary of trading guys like Quinn. He still had over 50 points on the season, 19 goals, I believe. So, then that's like 19 more goals that you have to replace. You already have to replace 30 from Alex Tuck. Now you got to replace 19 more from Quinn, and you got to replace 12 more goals from Bo Byram. So what are you gonna? So now you're looking at like over 60.
Yeah.
Goals. So it's like you can only do so much. But if Quinn is the guy to get up here, then you got to look at it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, because then you could still get a player with like the picks we probably have. I mean, we are stockpiling on draft picks, especially like second round, third round, especially that during that Devin Levi trade, which he got traded in a 2028 seventh round to the Oilers for a 2028 third round pick. Do you like that trade?
I mean, it's Devin Levi needed to leave. He needed to leave. I mean, right now, I mean, the only remnants of the Sam Reinhart trade is Yuri Kulich right now, and now we have a third round pick. So we'll see what happens with that pick. Chances are, I don't know if they're going to get an NHL player with the third round pick, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to say something about a trade getting butchered, that's probably one to put up there.
Mm-hmm.
But everything, Devin Levi needed to leave.
Yeah,
and he's going to go to the Edmonton Oilers, who they've struggled with goaltending, to say the least.
I mean, there's no way that they're gonna get Devin Levi's gonna have a chance to start, even if they don't get Connor Hellebuck. I mean, you still have three quality starting goaltenders, which is UPL, Alex Lyon, and definitely Colton Ellis. So, sorry, Devin, but you had your chance and you kind of blew it.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't think he should have been brought up to the NHL immediately.
Yeah, that's.
I think he should have went down to Rochester, and and did his thing down there for a year or two,
Mm-hmm.
and then bring him up.
Yeah.
But now you have, as far as goaltending goes, as of right now, you have UPL, you have Alex Lyon, who has 1 year left on his deal, and then you have Colton Ellis. So you're looking at the possibility of Connor Hellebuck, Alex Lyon, and Colton Ellis playing the third goaltender again.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting part is that he only has 1 year left on his deal, and he's an unrestricted free agent after next year.
Unless it's a trade and sign type of thing, like what happened with Alex Tuck to the Capitals.
I don't know if they want to do that with him. I think they're going to try to sign him. I think they're going to try to extend him.
Yeah,
that would be my guess. Otherwise, it's a wasted roster spot over the last year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them keeping Alex Lyon if they're going to get Hellebuck, because you don't want really 230-something-year-old goaltenders. I mean, especially I would see them getting rid of Lyon, and you have Hellebuck and Ellis, I think, and just in a.
No, the way I'm kind of seeing it is that if they do make the trade for Hellebuck, you trade UPL. He's got to be included in the deal. Then you have Alex Lyon and Hellebuck as your top two goaltenders, split in time with Colton Ellis for like at least this upcoming year. And then you would probably extend Colton Ellis, and you would have Colton Ellis and Hellebuck and somebody else playing the third goaltender spot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's after next year. So there's still time to work that out.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, if they don't get Hellebuck, I'm comfortable at that goaltending position and that. But you did say that there was something juicy going on with Patrick Kane. I thought we were going to have a Patrick Kane return to Buffalo moment.
Well, so many years ago, he got into trouble in Buffalo.
Was it a taxi?
Could have been, yeah. The taxi and involved a young lady. Let's put it that way.
I do remember that, and that young lady got in trouble.
Well, let's put it this way. It's It's very. I would be shocked if Patrick Kane came back to Buffalo. I would be shocked if he does. I don't. I mean, I don't know how I would feel about it. To be honest with you, because he is 37 years old. Lord knows, if they do sign him, and he falls off the wagon and doesn't produce like he's been producing.
Yeah, he had 57 points last year. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, 57 points is pretty good at 37 years old. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's a lot of people aren't going to forget what happened so many years ago.
Yeah, which I think that young girl finding out that he got let off because of the fact that he did not do it. She was going in there for the money, but that's another thing on that.
No, it wasn't that at all. But that's okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing I wanted to say was, like, Florida is pretty much stockpiling their roster, trying to get back to the Stanley Cup. They just signed Gudis, and that's Toronto's favorite player right now because of what happened. So Toronto gets to see him a little bit more.
Well, the thing about Florida is they've spent a lot of money. Pretty much on the other Kachuk, that ate up a lot of their cap space. But right now they only have $396,000 under the cap, so they're out of the Hellebuck sweepstakes. But they did sign a goaltender, Jacob Markstrom. He's making $6 million a year, but what are they going to do for a backup is the question, because they don't have enough money to sign a backup. So I mean, well, I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, they lost Bobrovsky. Obviously, he went to the Toronto Maple Leafs, which we'll see if they messed up again, but who knows? I mean, they wanted us sign a 37-year-old goaltender. You're more than welcome to there, Toronto.
Well, they have no cap space, so they're strapped right now. So they actually have to make a move to get rid of a guy. But they're only $100,000 over. But yeah, I mean the Toronto Maple Leafs. They traded for Darren Radish. That's $8.5 million. Against their cap, and they also have Jake McCabe, believe it or not.
Familiar name in Buffalo.
Yeah, and Morgan Riley's making a pretty buck there. So yeah, and I think people are still waiting to see what happens with Matthew Nyes, because a lot of people still think he might be traded because right now they're over the cap, by 127,000 according to Puckpedia. I mean, they do have their goaltenders, Sergei Bobrovsky and Anthony Stolarz. So they have their two goaltenders, but it'll be interesting to see if they actually do make a deal. Because if they do try to trade Nyes, it'll have to be for like draft picks at this point. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, because it's like I think they're trying to get desperate, but obviously I think they got it. In my opinion, Toronto has to start over from scratch. I mean, you got a new coach, and you had Tavares, you had all these superstars, and you couldn't even get past the first round, let alone this year. You couldn't even get to the playoffs.
Well, not only that, they had the first overall pick. And they did get Gavin McKenna, who's supposed to be a really good player, but who knows if he's going to be, ready to go, ready to play in the NHL on day one. A lot of people seem to think so, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But Toronto, I don't know if Toronto's like doing a total rebuild though. So it's it's like they got the number one pick, they got Kevin McKenna, but then they still have Austin Matthews. They still have Willie Nylander and whatnot. They still have Matthew Knight. They still have John Tavares, who's 35, going on 105 at this point. But they still have the top end of their roster is really good. And they have Radish on defense. So, but they have to do some cap management here.
I think there was a big shocker though yesterday that I was very shocked about was Vincent Trocheck to the Utah Mammoth.
Utah Mammoth just have money to spend. I mean, they're just anybody at this point.
I mean, very talented, obviously, and I won't be surprised if they make the playoffs next year. The way that their team is built, the way that they're, adding Trocheck will definitely give them a nice boot, because I think give them a nice veteran presence too.
Well, then not only that, but they also got Anders Lee, the former captain of the New York Islanders. They signed him for $5.4 million for the next 3 years, on average annual value for 3 years. So, and the thing about Vincent Trocheck, I wouldn't have minded him coming to the Sabres.
Well, me neither.
But at 32 years old, making $5.6 million, that's just too much.
Yeah, there's going to be teams that are going to overspend, obviously, in free agency. Where I was listening to WGR Paul Hamilton yesterday, you don't build through free agency. You build through the draft. You build through trades. And I was like, I couldn't agree more because the NHL free agency is becoming a blur, so to speak, because the players that are important, teams are already signing them. Where the NFL, obviously, free agency is fun, but what ruins it is that, tampering period and that. But, yeah, the team like Buffalo with Zach Benson, you knew he wasn't going to leave. And then
Right.
What I liked what Yarmo did was trade Tuck so he could get something out of it, not let him go for free.
Well, yeah, I mean that was a deal. I mean, because that could have gone either way, because he wanted to keep him, but it was like the money had to be right, and unfortunately, and I can't blame Alex Tuck for this at all, because everybody wants to get paid.
Yeah,
he signed
for sure.
a team-friendly deal like so many years ago with Vegas and came to Buffalo on a team-friendly deal. I mean, logically speaking, he should have been making $9-10 million with the performance that he was giving Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that what happened in the playoffs did not, hinder the thought of Yarmo, but I just don't think you want to pay somebody over Tage Thompson who scores 40 goals a year, basically, and you don't really want to have somebody get paid over Dahlin, who's a superstar, obviously. You want, and if you're going to add a superstar, you want to keep that money in it.
If they could have slotted him at around between $8 and $8.5 million, they had a chance to keep him. But he wanted more, and I can't blame him. I mean, he got $10.5 million for 8 years or whatever it was. Good for him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, him being 30 years old, a long-term contract like that.
Yeah.
Not all players fade the same. Some players can just continue to play at a reasonably high level. But there is a drop off, and it all depends on when that drop off happens.
I think we learned our lesson a few times. With what was it? Christian Ehrhoff. He didn't stay for the whole contract. Then you had what was his name? Billy Lano. How did he work out here in Buffalo? Anybody know? Did
And he still hasn't scored. He still hasn't scored a goal.
Or he didn't make it to 10. That's for sure.
Oh my God.
And then, well, Jeff Skinner, well, he could have stayed.
Skinner was interesting. Skinner was interesting because he gave us a few good years.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end. And the Sabres right now, this year, are still on the hook because of the buyout for $6.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
But that drops next year to $2.4 million, so they pick up $4 million on the cap next year. So that's a nice little, gift, we'll say. But, yeah, I mean, the long-term contracts in the Sabres, they don't always work out. Let's put it that way. Right now, the Tate Thompson contract is working out.
Yeah.
Obviously, Darlene's contract is working out. Doan is off to a good start. We can only hope that Benson follows suit with that.
Yeah, I mean, we get worried once they get paid. It's like, but obviously, Darlene and Thompson's game have not. Speaking of Skinner, Stuart Skinner to the Winnipeg Jets as their goaltender. So obviously, it makes Connor Hellebuck trade a little bit more.
Well, it makes it seem like that they're preparing for Connor Hellebuck to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I mean, Stuart Skinner is like $3.75 million as a backup goaltender. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But Connor Hellebuck, I mean, he's got 5 years left on his deal at $8.5 million. And the Jets still have $10.5 million of cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So they can still do some things.
Oh yeah.
One of the rumors out there was that Logan Stanley was going to go back to Winnipeg. So if that happens, it happens. Thank you for your service, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's still talent out there as far as free agency goes, but I don't know if I would overspend it.
No.
Like some teams will.
I mean, right now you get half of the players that right now are in free agency are in their mid-30s to, well, obviously close to their late 30s, and it's like you don't want to pay them $5-6 million. You want to pay them at least like a fair offer, like $2 to $3 million. That would be okay. We'll do that, but.
Well, a guy like Connor Sherry, for instance. He's like in his mid-30s now.
Mm-hmm.
Can probably give you like 10 to 15 goals. He's a nice little depth forward.
Plus, he can go up and down to Rochester, obviously, that's for sure. Because really, nobody...
yeah. But I think those are the kinds of players you're really looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Depth pieces. You're not going to find, unless they want to bring Patrick Kane here and have him play in the top six. But I don't know.
Plus, if that's what can get us over the top for the Stanley Cup, which he scored some game-winning goals in the Stanley Cup, so he doesn't back down in big moments. That's what you need is somebody that doesn't back down in big moments, like we had when Chris Drury was here and Danny Briere was here.
But you know what though? You had some young people step up this past playoff series.
Oh, for
in
sure.
the big moment. Zach Benson.
Yep, Josh Doan.
Doan. So you got a couple.
Yep.
So you got a couple young kids right now that showed up in big moments.
Yep.
And so I'm not too worried about people in big moments.
And then you had.
But I'm sorry about that. What I'm worried about is the goaltending, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Lyon struggled against Montreal. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, yeah, UPL struggled in that one game against Boston, but he really played better against Montreal. Like, especially when in Montreal, which is a tough building to play, he played better. But the other guy that stepped up too was Helenos. He stepped up when he came into the lineup.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see how these kids, where they're slotted in the lineup, whether one of them makes the top line, get the second line, or maybe the third line, because they're all centers.
Mm-hmm.
But from what Paul Hamilton was saying on GR, is that Kulik is more apt to stay at center. The other two, Osland and Helenus, they can play on the wing.
Yeah,
which is what they need right now. But the thing is, I don't know if you want to go into the season, depending on young kids, because that's a lot.
Well, we still got Zucker, so that's a help.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're getting people let Sabres fans forget we got Yuri Kulik, who unfortunately had a blood clot last year, but I'm glad he is better and he will be able to play again. So that's going to be, that's going to definitely for sure be a plus. I mean, he definitely played pretty good at winger. So
Yep. If they don't do anything else at forward in free agency or trade, you would think you would need at least 50 points each out of Helenus, Osland, and or some kind of combination. And then of course, Zach Benson's going to have to up his game too. So I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in, because you don't want to depend everything on those kids, but if you can't get the right deal, if the right player isn't available in free agency, what else can you do?
Yeah, especially that we don't know who the first line's honestly going to be. I mean, not having Tuck here was basically you had Thompson and Tuck, but then now it's like Thompson and who's his winger, who's going to play left on his left and right, and we don't know yet. That's for sure. I mean, but they put him with Benson, and that helped, that boosted Thompson a little bit.
You could see Josh Norris, Thompson, and maybe Benson.
Yeah, because Norris, when he first came here, he was paired with Thompson, and he fed him a nice pass to score. That was last year, but then again, we don't trust Josh Norris. Can he stay on the ice, or can he stay healthy? That's the problem.
If there's a trade you could make right now, even if you had to retain some of the salary, Josh Norris would be the guy.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's such a train wreck when it comes to injuries. That's just not possible. I don't think he's making $7.9 million, and he's got 4 years left on his deal. So, I don't know. I really don't. You hope they can get at least 60 games out of him. But I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see, because if he goes down, who moves up to be the number one center? You would think Yuri Kulik, maybe Ryan McLeod at this point. I don't know.
And then you have Peyton Krebs, but we don't know. But I think Peyton Krebs will be going back to being the third line center or the fourth line center. So that's for sure. But I think he'll be with Zucker probably more likely.
Yeah, Krebs is still an RFA. He does have arbitration rights, from what I understand. So, and the Sabres did make him their qualifying offer. So it all depends on how that negotiation goes. I mean, Paul Hamilton was saying he could probably end up around $3 million for the season, which would be fine, maybe. You know, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up. There was a trade earlier, and I forgot to write it down. I think it was Dallas and Nashville. Nashville getting Robertson, I believe. Trying to get this. Trying to get that or find that out. Or no.
Well, Robertson, that's a crazy situation with the amount of money that he wants.
No, the Predators acquired Maverick Bork and Ilya Lyubushkin from the Stars. I didn't.
Yeah.
Lyubushkin, that was a guy that people thought the Sabres should have gunned after.
Yeah.
I
don't know about that, but to go back to Jason Robertson for a minute, that is a crazy situation because he wants upwards around $14 million for his annual value, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. Now, granted, he can score you 40 goals a year. He is that good. But out of $14 million is a lot of money.
Yeah,
that is
that's
a lot of money. Now, the cap is going to go up, but I don't know if you want to. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean that's for sure. I mean, and then you had the Penguins getting Darnell Nurse. He was all right with the Edmonton Oilers, but it was looking like that the Penguins want to get the has-beens from the Edmonton Oilers of late. They get Stuart Skinner, now you get Darnell Nurse.
Well, yeah. Right now they only have one goal. They have no goaltenders right now. They have zero. The only goaltender I see listed there is Artur Silva's. I butchered that. I'm sorry. And he's an RFA, and that's it for goaltending. And they have $25 million under as far as like money to spend right now. But again, I don't know about Pittsburgh because you got Sidney Crosby. He's obviously a Hall of Famer. He's won the Stanley Cup I think like 4 times, but he's 38 years old. And then you got Evgeny Malkin. He's 39 years old, and they're both on 1-year deals, or they have like a year left on their present contract. Malkin's making 5.5. Crosby's making 8.7. I don't know if I'm expecting a whole heck of a lot out of Pittsburgh, but again, they've got a lot of money to spend. So maybe they can make it right.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing right there. Vancouver, they signed Luke Schenn, so he gets to go back to the former Sabre who played 3 games. He goes back to Vancouver, and they're signing all these old players to come back to them, I guess.
It's Vancouver. I don't know what they're doing, but good on Luke Schenn. I mean, he might even retire after this year. So, so if that's where he wants to go, then that's where he wants to go.
Yeah, but then this really wasn't a shocker to me. Montreal signing Jacob Dobish to a 3-year contract. That's really not a surprise of what type of playoffs he actually had, especially against a tough one against Carolina. But I mean, Carolina were just a beast. But you gotta give Dobish some credit. In Montreal, really has a good young goaltender. in their possession.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He still had one more year left on his rookie deal. So, and then next year it goes up to 5.3 million. So, yeah, I mean they're doing fine. And then they have a couple of other kids. So, but Montreal is going to be a good team for a while. So, because they still have Nick Suzuki, they have Cole Caulfield, and Uraj, and I'm not even going to say that last name. So
Lots of letters.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters and very few vowels. So I'll just leave it at that. But but the Eastern Conference as a whole is going to be tough.
Oh yeah, it was like that this past season. I mean, you had Buffalo winning the division, but Montreal was right there. Obviously, Tampa Bay was right there. Boston wasn't that far off. So it was like anything was going to happen.
But you know what, though? If you take that huge run that the Sabres were on, after December, if 6 of those wins, any 6 of those wins were straight up losses, they don't make the playoffs.
No.
That's how close it was. So, but I give the goaltending credit. The goaltending held up in the regular season last year.
Mm-hmm.
It really did, and it got them, and it broke the drought. Won a playoff series. My concern is that, like we talked about earlier, Alex Lyon or UPL broke down against the Bruins, and then it was Alex Lyon that took them through that series, essentially. But then when Montreal hit, then Alex Lyon struggled. Then you go to UPL. UPL would struggle. Then you go back to Alex Lyon, and then it went back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to be old school in all this, but I remember the days of when you had one goalie in the playoffs.
Dominic Hasek was one of them.
You can go back. I mean, it's like to the greats. To the all-time great goaltender.
Yeah, Barrasso. And then
Patrick Waugh. Martin Brodeur.
Yep. Grant Fuhr.
Goaltenders. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like that anymore. But like a lot of teams, they don't have. You don't need most teams are proving you don't need a superstar goaltender. I mean, Freddie Anderson definitely wasn't a superstar goaltender. He was just that, a capable starter. I mean, we knew how he was when he played for Toronto, and definitely he was a capable starter for, obviously, Carolina.
But you know what, though? But we say that, and who was a starting goaltender for Carolina when they won the Cup?
I believe all back the first one. That would have been.
No, I mean this past year.
Oh, that was Freddie Anderson.
Brandon Bussey. Brandon Bussey was the goaltender that took that won the last couple of games of that series.
Mm-hmm. But
Freddie, we can say.
But Frederick,
that we.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Frederick Anderson did win majority of the games in the playoffs, so I mean, kind of helped them get there.
But the guy that closed the door, the guy that slammed the door shut, was Brandon Bussey. Now you talk about pressure packed. I mean, you're talking about pressure. What's pressure of winning like a game 6 or a game 7 in the Stanley Cup?
Oh, there's definitely no pressure. I mean, there's no nerves or anything. I mean, that's but that's the thing. I mean, like really the teams that are winning too, they're the teams that have been winning are talented all over the place. Carolina proven it. They are loaded with talent. And then you had Florida the past 2 seasons, loaded with talent. Now they're really loading up with having both Kachucks. They still got Sam Reinhart. I think they still got Sam Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
And adding Gudas, they're coming again. I mean, people forgot that Florida is overly talented, even though they missed the playoffs last year. Let's not forget that they can still win the cup, even now they're without Bobrovsky now. So
well, they don't have. I mean, they got Jacob Markstrom, who isn't bad, but still, I mean, you're talking about, like you said, a tremendously talented hockey team. From the defense of Seth Jones, Aaron Ekblad, you want to throw Gudas in there. I mean, he's a bit of a roughhouser, but their forwards are. It's ridiculous what they have available at forward. From Alexander Barkov to Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, Brady Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, Carter Verhaeghe, Brad Marchand, Anton Lundell. I mean, it's ridiculous how deep they are. But again, their main thing is, can Jacob Markstrom hold up as a goaltender? Because right now they have no money under the cap to even get a backup. So they got to figure out a way to get some money to get another goaltender. Probably just call up one of the kids from their minor league team. And one thing about Hellebuck that people have been talking about was that he played so much of the season in Winnipeg that by the time they get the playoffs, he would be done. He would be worn out.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like when Ryan Miller during the 2010 season, playing 70 games and basically the 2010 postseason, he was probably fatigued in that. But then again, when he played Boston, who was physical at that time. And speaking of physical, somebody's with the Sabres as a scout that is Ryan Miller's favorite player. I think, wait a minute, I think it's Milan Lucic. So I don't know.
I can't wait for the Sabres to have their alumni back.
So
if you see a weird guy just jump at Milan Lucic up in the press box, and like high stick him with a goalie stick, that'll be Ryan Miller.
Yeah. Well, then again, you got to look at it this way. I mean, Rob Ray and Ty Domi became good friends, even though they fought on the ice so many times. So, my boss said it earlier. He's like, you got to let bygones be bygones. It was 16 years ago, heat of the moment of the ice. Obviously, Miller is like 3 years retired, and so is Milan Lucic. So
he was a cheap shot artist. Oh my God.
Well, that was for sure. But the scout, we'll see what he could do, though. I mean,
hey, but here's the thing: if they can find a player that's similar to Milan Lucic,
hey, I'm not gonna complain.
I'm not gonna say no.
No, I mean, I think that when Miller and Lucic see each other, I think they're gonna shake hands and let bygones be bygones. It's 16 years ago. It wasn't like that's almost like it's a teenager now. So, it definitely shook the core of the Sabres that game, though. Obviously,
it shook them for the rest of the season because Miller had like concussion issues, from what I can remember about that. But yeah, they're reshaping everything now, from the front office to the scouts to whatnot. But I'll tell you, I will say this though: they made a savvy re-signing in Beck Malenstein.
The Malin goat, yes.
I mean the 6 years around just a shade below $3 million a year. So he's going to be there for a while. But I like that signing.
I think every fan has your sentiment right there because everybody was calling him the Malin GOAT, the Malin, because of like the way he played. He was very, he worked hard every shift he was on. He was not taking anything for granted, which. Well, that's the fourth liner we forgot about. I mean, I think he was playing alongside Krebs, so we know how hard that line worked. That was for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to seeing Melenstein and Sam Carrick working together from game one to see what they can do.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see Carrick this year because of the fact when he first came, he was showing why we got him, basically. And then obviously getting into a fight his first game here, and then another game where he gets injured after a fight. But hey, come on, that new dude is he's definitely gonna be a big help, I guess, this season. I mean, there has been a question about the roster right now, and that's the way the roster is now. Do you see them as a playoff team, or okay, there's going to be other teams that are better than them?
Well, remember what I said earlier about the Sabres? If they lost 6 games rather than win 6 games, they didn't make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think the way this team is constructed right now, they may be at the bottom of the playoff picture or just miss. Mm-hmm. And what could tip the scale on that, one, getting better goaltending, getting Hellebuck. 2, getting a top 6 forward somehow. I don't know how they're going to do it because free agency really doesn't have what you're looking for. So you're going to have to make a trade, and if you're going to make a trade for a top 6 forward, you got to give up something. What are they willing to give up? Because they're going to give up a lot to get Hellebuck, if that still is part of that strategy. I mean, if they go into the season with UPL and Alex Lyon and Cole Nellis, they've proven that they can make the playoffs, and not only make the playoffs, but win a playoff round with that trio.
See, my worry is definitely the top 6 because you lost some key pieces on the top 6. You really did. Tuck is the key part. So it's not like, who's going to be alongside Thompson? That's the thing. That's the biggest question. And then you have, like I said, you're getting Josh Doan for a full year. You're definitely getting you got to hope that Norris, cross your fingers that Norris can play majority of the season. I want to say he needs to play 85% if we can get that out of him.
The only comparison I can make is how the Philadelphia 76ers handle Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. Joel Embiid has never played above 60 games or 65 games in an NBA season. Mm-hmm. They manage his minutes, and they manage how many games he plays. He only plays consecutive games only so often during the regular season. They may have to do that with Josh Norris. They may have to look at him and say, okay, we want to get 60, maybe 65 games out of you. Mm-hmm. Space it out a little bit. Maybe play 2, rest 1. Play 2, rest 1. They may have to manage him a little bit.
Yeah, so, I could see that, or have him, like you said, because they got, enough young players that could fit him, that could be a better, have a better style. Like you said, Hallinas, you have, again, Kulik, and then also Olsen. And that's definitely, for sure, and that. But who do you think passed the first day of free agency so far?
Well, say again?
Who do you think passed the free agency so far? What team do you think really stood out to you?
Well, you got to look at Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not just so much what they did in free agency, but what they did in trade and getting the other Kachuk. And they're right now. I mean, looking at their roster. I mean, they're loaded. I mean, they are loaded for bear. The only concern is what they do at goaltending. You know, whether Markstrom can hold up. But other than that, I mean, that's a heck of a. I mean, not only the forwards but the defense. Seth Jones, Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling. You know, Nico Makala. That's a top four. That's fantastic. You know, and then of course their forwards. We mentioned them earlier. So yeah, I mean they managed to put together a team, at least on paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the thing that bothered me most about Brady Tkachuk, there was a report that came out and said that, I don't know how true it is, mind you, but that came out and said that he told teammates that he was leaving, that he was going to get out of Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
This is during the playoffs, that he wasn't going to come back. So I hate that. I hate hearing that kind of stuff, but you know, it's a business at the end of the day. So if you're asking me like who's done the best so far, I'm thinking Florida.
Yeah, because of the way they added, and I'm gonna go with a couple teams. I think like you got obviously Nashville with Lyubushkin and adding some players from Dallas, and which I think was a steal. And then I want to say, and don't. This is a young team, but I think it's San Jose. I think they added a few pieces that they could help Celebrini, and you know, this team is a very, very young team. That's you add some talent on that team, they could turn heads.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and the thing, Scalabrini is. I mean, that's like one of your most talented, probably the most talented young player right now is Celebrini. I think he had over 100. He had 100 kajillion points this year. So, and he's still on his rookie deal right now. So, but if you look at the top of the lineup, you know, you got Logan Couture. He's like 37 years old. You got They did get Mason Marchand.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm not a huge Marchand fan. I will be honest with you. I don't know. And you got Tyler Toffoli. He's 34. Alexander Wenberg. He's 31. Kiefer Sherwood. He's 31. So they're not, as far as like, you know, Celebrini goes, yeah. I mean, they have him, but there's a lot of age on that team still.
Mm-hmm.
So they may have done some good things for free agency to keep them competitive, but at the end of the day, it's going to be about Celebrini and their first round pick this year, Ivar Stenberg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll have to see if he comes over right away and plays, because you put him and Celebrini together, that's a great 1-2 punch as far as young players go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the thing. By the way, Ovechkin did sign another 1-year deal, so he is coming back. So he's coming back. Maybe LeBron James should have learned his lesson he could have stayed with one team and still play in his 40s, but no, LeBron's wants to go to another team.
I don't have a problem with what LeBron has done in his career. At the end of the day, he's probably going to own a franchise. So there.
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll probably own Cleveland. To go back home and own Cleveland and that. So,
Well,
all right. So we got a minute left. Just letting you know that tomorrow Mick will be in this chair, Mick for Mick's World, and then obviously no exit experience with bus driver Jason and his cronies of Rich, myself, and Vanessa, and that. But what are you doing next week, Russ?
I'm taking a
more.
nap.
We're going to talk more sports.
Well, as soon as I wake up from my nap, because I'm
okay.
old. I'm old. And,
yeah, I take
know,
naps too. I mean,
yeah. So, older people take naps. I'm just letting you know.
hey, I'm in that age bracket too. So, anyway, so how much do you think Rich would make on free agency?
I don't know. Given his experience, and he's still relatively young, I think he could go like at least 5 years, 10 million a year.
Well, I agree with that. I think. All right, peace out, everybody, and hope you enjoy and stay cool. Enjoy your 4th of July and there.